say, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Family members in the live stream, much love to you and yours. Big ups to the family. What's happening, fam? Big ups to you. Thank y'all for being in the live stream on this Sunday night. Much love to the Black and Gold family members. Appreciate y'all. Much love, man. Much love on this Sunday night. Chiming in on the family. Won't be with you guys very long. We'll drop about the summation of an hour. And I just like to say what's happening to the Black and Gold family. Like we always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm in the building on this one. Big ups to the family, the Black Gold family. Please smash upon the like button. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Much love to you guys. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all had a swell weekend, and we're looking forward to another beautiful week starting. So with that being said, much love to the family members as you guys come trickling in. Who that? And big ups to Jesse Jones. Much love to Jesse Jones, one of our latest subscribers of the Great Saint Think Tank. Big ups to Jesse Jones. And this one. So popping off, we're going to start it off by doing our roll call. Big ups to the family. Brother Jerry Poor in the building. Who that to you? Jasper Bowden. Who that to you? Lamar. What's happening, Lamar? Who that to you? Marco. What's up, Marco? Who that to you? John Williams. Who that to you? Gabriel Thomas. Who that to you? Kelly B. Who that to you? Trey Joseph. Who that to you? KK 504 and 404 Lady. Who that to you? Olden Force. Who that to you? What's up, fam? Much love, fam. Appreciate the family members chiming in on this thing. And in this one, fam, a quick weekend wrap up breakdown of a couple of things that occurred this Saturday and this Sunday. Just gonna drop in with the family members to say what's happening. Big ups to the Great Saint Think Tank. Travis Jones. Who that to you? Lori. What's up, Lori? Who that to you as well? Good to see the family members in the building. Appreciate you, Lamar. Thank you for your super chat, fam. Much love. And who that to you? Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Much love to Lamar and the family members. Appreciate y'all being with me on this Sunday night. And like I said, we're going to go over a few news, notes, and items. So please feel free to smash upon that like button as we get going in this thing. John Thompson. What's up, John? Who that to you as well? And like I said, family, not too much shaking and breaking from the Saints right now, man. And of course, Mickey Loomis did say that starting on March, the 15th, he did say when he came out of his press conference that, he don't expect much movement to happen. And we know about the things that have happened. Jerry said about Sheldon. Yeah, we're going to cover that today in the show as well. So family, I'd like to welcome y'all into the Sports Coma Sunday night edition. And like I said, I won't hold you guys for very long in this live stream. But as we get going, please feel free to hit the like button, share the link in your social media feed. And here we go. So we're going to start it off, family, with, talking about, of course, hold on here. Let me make sure I get it right here. You see Sheldon Rankins, family, the Jets make Sheldon Rankins their due, sign Sheldon to a 2-year deal. And like we talked about this about maybe, what was it, a couple of days ago, that they had 12 teams that were looking at Sheldon Rankins. 12 teams that were looking at Sheldon Rankins. Well, it took one team, and that was the Jets. The Jets have a lot of money, and they were trying to fix that interior defensive line. And Sheldon Rankins is going to be a player for him. Remember, he was a player for the Saints for a while. It was really between him and David Onyemata to pick up that job. So with that being said, you see Sheldon, due to the injuries, fell behind the David Onyemata thing. But really, it could have been Rankins had the injuries not slowed him. But we knew eventually, you know, a guy like him would be picked up by another team, and the Jets were that team. Rankins signed to a 2-year deal. New York's rebuilt D-line gets another new face, and they got a really good one here with Sheldon Rankins. The Jets have been smart spenders in the 2021 NFL free agency in part. They've done a really terrific job of retooling their defense. And of course, Robert Saleh, who is their new head coach there, the guy is absolutely awesome as a defensive guy, a great motivator, real people person, serious, but, you know, fun at the same time. So this was a good hire to get Robert Saleh in New York, and he understood that they needed help defensively speaking. And as you can see to the right here, you can see all these acquisitions that they've signed with Carl Lawson and Corey Davis. So they added Sheldon Rankins interior along with Carl Lawson, who was released by the Bengals. And then the team even added Jared Davis, who's the former linebacker drafted out of the University of Florida by the Detroit Lions. They get him on a 1-year deal as well. And of course, they add a few pieces offensively with Corey Davis and Booker. And no word on the young quarterback, Sam Darnold, what they're going to do with him yet. But that'll be coming soon. And some people think that if they had not made a move by now, is that they're more than likely going to keep Sam Darnold and put tools around him to see if he could win, you know, being that the team, offensively speaking, was kind of destitute. But adding a good wide receiver in Corey Davis, who came from the Tennessee Titans, and of course a few more pieces perhaps in the draft and in free agency as it moves forward, can give Sam Darnold more of an opportunity to shine. So that's the feeling on it about Darnold possibly moving. But anyway, drafted 12th overall by the Saints out of Louisville in 2016. The 26-year-old Rankins was one of the top interior D linemen still available in free agency. Once a full-timer for New Orleans defensive front, the veteran has missed 10 games due to injuries over the past couple of years, but he feels healthy now, per Garofalo, who will presumably compete for a top defensive spot along Quinnen Williams with the Jets. You know, so that's real enticing. After a promising but injury-riddled rookie season in which he logged 4 sacks in just 9 games, Rankin emerged as one of the Saints' top defensive linemen from 2017 to 2018, combining for 10 sacks, 10 tackles for losses, 24 quarterback hits during that span. And he had an Achilles injury, limited him to 10 games in 2019 when he posted a career-low 10 tackles, and the veteran was similarly on the mend in 2020, starting just 12 contests, finishing with 20 tackles and a sack and a half. So Sheldon Rankins' family is off the free agency. He signs a 2-year deal, and according to statistics I've seen, it was like 2 years for $17 million in one report that I've seen. So there you go. So it is right here. It says in here too, Rankins will sign a 2-year deal worth up to $17 million as a potential starter in New York. So not bad moves by the Jets as they're trying to make it serious, and they get Sheldon Rankins, one of our good guys. So another Saint is going, and we knew this was going to happen. We talked about the Saints just don't have the money to retain some of these guys. So let's move on to the next news note and item. Is that the big news of the weekend, of course, was the Saints getting penalized a 2022 pick for the C-19 violations that occurred. And of course, that's 2 draft picks. They took a 7th rounder from the Saints this year. And ultimately, a report came out saying that the Saints wasn't going to lose picks. And then rightly after that, you know, it came out that the Saints were going to lose picks. So it was a bit of confusion there. But the Saints forfeit the 6th round pick in 2020 draft due to the C-19 violation. So the Saints were the only NFL team to officially lose a draft pick over the violations. The NFL and NFLPA COVID-19 protocols during the 2020 season, according to the league. The Saints will officially dock the 6th round pick in 2022 and fined $700,000 after the appeals process was completed. The Raiders, meanwhile, did not wind up losing the draft pick, but were fined 800 G's. The league source said the Saints were punished because of multiple violations and warnings, even beyond the 3 that were reported during the season. Those reports indicated were included was, and check this out, the Saints being fined $250,000 and Coach Payton being fined $100,000 because Payton was not properly wearing a mask on the sideline during the Week 2 game. The Saints being fined 500 G's and losing a 7th round pick as repeat offenders because Payton and the players were spotted without masks during post-game celebration in Week 9. Then the 3rd one, the Saints facing further discipline if a person not employed by the team was spotted in proximity to players when the league reviewed video while following up on running back Elvin Kamara's close contacts where he tested positive in December. The Saints did not immediately comment on the league's final decision, but sources made it clear after the season that the team did not agree with the severity of the punishments and planned to appeal them. One point of contention was that there were several other examples of players from other teams being spotted without masks in various post-game videos throughout the year, which they did nothing about. Like I tell you, you can't do this if you're the Saints. You know that Goodell does not like you, and he looks for opportunities to penalize you. That was a great point, that the Saints are getting penalized where other teams aren't, but still in all. You know he's unfair. You know he's garbage. You know he's trash. So why are you getting him ammunition to gun you? I don't understand. You got to follow the rule. If you agree to it, you got to. I mean, a lot of people can get away with it. Kraft with his cheese ass can get away with it from New England. All these other players and teams can get away with it, not New Orleans, because I told you, Goodell has a vendetta against the Saints as well as the Cowboys because of the fact that Tom Benson voted against him becoming a commission several years ago. And they never forgot that. That's what type of dude that is. Very petty. The league so specified that the Week 9 incident was just one of multiple infractions, and the Saints weren't singled out for the nature of the players dancing in video or the fact that it was posted on social media. The Raiders will also face a reported loss of a 6th-round draft choice and fines for one source described to ESPN as brazen and repeated violations of protocols. Among the Raiders' reported infraction was Gruden not wearing a mask properly, the team allowing uncredentialed employee access to the locker room following the game, and players appearing maskless, mixing with the crowd at tight end Darren Waller's charity event. Other teams that were facing fines for this infractions throughout the year included the Titans, the Patriots, the Ravens, and the Steelers. So, Saints are the team that's up there. So with that being said, the bottom line is this, family. The bottom line is this. If you take a look at what the Saints have done, a lot of people going to hate and say this, they don't like Goodell and F. Goodell, and I understand that. But understand this as well. If you give him nothing to penalize, then he's not effective. He can't hurt you. These are things that the team had an opportunity to control. They violated, and they think they can get away with it, but the Goodell got spies all over the place, especially in New Orleans, to be able to penalize the Saints. So it's not really Goodell issue. You got to follow the rules, especially with this C-19 stuff. You got to follow the rules, and they are looking for, especially the offenders, and they're going to be not so much more of the C-19 stuff, but they're aware of the misappropriation or the misreporting of injuries on the injury report that Sean Payton does he was doing for the last several plus years. They're aware of that, and they're just holding that in their back pocket to levy him. So I keep saying the same thing. Stop giving this asshole ammunition to gun you down. You know he don't like you. This is all on us. This don't have nothing to do with nobody else. Stop giving him ammunition to gun you. All right, let's move on. All right, the next one is Marcus Williams accepts Saints franchise tag, setting stage for long-term deal. So Marcus Williams signed his franchise tag. And of course, you've seen Jonathan Simmons sign his franchise tag too, and then it came to like in a 3-year agreement. I think it's for like 67 million or something like that. The good news is the Saints NFL Rappaport reports that Marcus Williams has accepted the tag and will allow the team's starting free safety to continue to negotiate a multi-year contract extension. Williams and the Saints must reach a deal by July the 15th or else wait until 2022 offseason to resume talks. Both sides have incentives to get an agreement hammered out sooner than later. Williams won't turn 25 until September, meaning he can sign a 4 or 7-year contract extension and still expect another big money contract before he celebrates his 30th birthday. Good grief. Could you imagine a 5-year agreement, 7-year agreement? I know these people ain't that batshit crazy. We'll see, man. I sincerely hope not, man. Additionally, the security long-term agreement would bring is highly valuable compared to a 1-year deal with no guarantees past 2021. From the Saints' perspective, it's important to sign Williams for the foreseeable future so they can keep another part of their talented core on the roster. Williams is quickly climbing team record books and career accomplishments like interceptions. On top of that, a new contract extension will lower his $10.6 million salary cap hit, allowing New Orleans to sign free agents and re-up more of their own. But how highly will he be paid on the next contract? For comparison, Denver Broncos franchise, there you go, Justin Simmons agreed to a 4-year deal, $61 million. How about that? With 35 of which is guaranteed. Now you're talking about Justin Simmons, one of the top 5, I would say top 3 best safeties in the NFL with a 4-year, $61 million extension. An average of 15.25 per year. His stats are slightly better than Williams. Ain't no slightly. They are better. but they're compared. Boy, this the butt lickery of these people, but they're comparable enough for his payout to be bought up in contract talk. So I mean, listen, Simmons is a Pro Bowler. We'll see what they do with Marcus Williams, man. I'm against it, but they bought all into it, so we'll have to see at the end of the day. Jonathan Simmons did get the 4-year deal, $61 million with 30 plus of it guaranteed. So we'll see how it shakes. All right, now another report coming here as the Saints watched another former player go the way of the whatchamacallit, as Panthers agreed to terms with ex-Saints tight end Dan Arnold, as Arnold gets to the Panthers. So his sorry ass went out. We got rid of him. He goes to to Arizona, then goes from Arizona to Carolina. So he's back with the Panthers. And of course, Joe Brady's the offensive coordinator out there. He'll have a very interesting weapon in Dan Arnold, who's gotten better at catching the ball. He's gotten a little bit more seasoned, became a young journeyman, and he'll be a weapon for Joe Brady in Carolina, along with McCaffrey and other players. So Carolina's looking to tool up and put that offense together, man, and do some things. And we're hearing that they were looking at trying to get Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. That's kind of falling apart. So now the focus is turning toward the draft. They're ranked, I think they're 8th in the draft order, and they're looking to kind of make some moves at the quarterback position. So, the Teddy Bridgewater thing is going sour right now, and I think they just did Teddy wrong in his first year. Bridgewater didn't do all that bad, despite the fact that you were missing so many offensive pieces. Christian McCaffrey was gone. Your key piece there. You had DJ Moore and other guys out there performing. Anderson was excellent. And they had some other players out there as well. But, you can't, Teddy Bridgewater did a pretty decent job. And he's a bridge the gap kind of guy. So there's really nothing out there they got to make it work with Teddy Bridgewater going into the season. So hopefully they bring him back and they got no choice at this point to bring him back, because there's nothing out there in free agency unless they're trying to trade for a younger quarterback like Sam Darnold. But the case is Carolina's looking at landing a guy in the draft like the kid out of BYU. We'll see. But the Panthers agreed to terms with Dan Arnold. Now, with that figure, NFL Peter Scrager reported Friday evening with the Panthers reaching an agreement on the contract with free agent tight end Dan Arnold, paying the former Saints pass catching tight end $6 million over the next 2 years. Arnold naturally worked closely with Panthers play caller Joe Brady when he worked as the Saints assistant. Brady has imported plenty of talent to Carolina through his New Orleans pipeline, including bigger names like Teddy Bridgewater. And, of course, he got Tommy Stevens down there with him. Arnold was released by New Orleans in 2019 with the Arizona claiming him off the waivers. He had his best year as a pro in 2020 with career highs. He had 45 catches for 45 targets with 31 catches. He had a catch rate of almost 69%. His receiving yards were 438, and he had 4 touchdowns. First down conversions at 24. He would have been a nice player to bring back and par with. No. He would not have been a good player. But the hell with that. Now it's an opportunity to face off with his old team twice a year in Carolina, and we just have to bring it, man. We just got to make sure we have our tight ends ready to handle their business. He'll be paired with Ian Thomas as well. He'll be an interesting matchup to do his thing right there, and we'll see how it shakes at the end of the day, man. But I ain't scared of no ghosts. That's exactly what this dude is. But anyway, let's keep it going. We're gonna go into the draft talk now. Is the 2021 Saints draft prospects meeting. Of course, this is the persistence of C-19 pandemic means the run up to the 2021 NFL draft is going to look much like the process that led to last year's event. There won't be an NFL scouting combine in Indianapolis. The pro day circuit is pared down. So the Saints and other teams can't fly prospects into town for private meetings at the facilities. All contact is being conducted virtually. So information is coming at premium this year. Still, eventually every team will have met with nearly every prospect. So we shouldn't look too deeply into these reports. The Saints aren't tipping their hand one way or the other based on what interviews are made public. But it's a good data point to keep in mind ahead of this year's draft. This list will be updated as new. And this is coming from Saints Wires. The Saints, and this is all a list of all of the meetings that the Saints had with prospects, just to keep this in your minds fresh. Mac Jones out of Alabama, we know about him, as they did talk to him. And, Saints with the quarterbacks not past Jameis Winston here in a 1-year deal. You got Taysom. That contract can be voided after 1 year. So really, you're looking at a short-term option in terms of quarterback. Do the Saints at some point in the draft, whether it's in the first round or a little later, between the top 3 or 4 picks in rounds 1, 2, or 3, and 4, do they address the quarterback position? Mac Jones could be very well off the board, many think. I agree with them. And of course, Jamie Newman. I think Jamie Newman will be there, but will you get value for him as a first or second pick? A lot of people see Jamie Newman as a day 3 pick, so he could be on the board. Somebody the Saints like he has a strong arm and he's very athletic. He's about 6'4", and he's a guy that can make things happen for you. I watched tape on him. He at times wows me. At times he disappears to me, but he does need to improve his progression. But he's really athletic, man. So it's interesting to see what their idea being. Him, this guy, Aleem McNeil from North Carolina State. This guy is another talented, one of the top defensive tackles in the draft. If the Saints don't address it through free agency and get a cheaper veteran option, Aleem McNeil was somebody the Saints were high on. Big nose tackle, and of course we have an opening there, as we traded away Malcolm Brown, and Sheldon Rankins left via free agency, so that's something to look at. And also they talked to Levi O from Washington, another guy that's not so much a nose tackle but more of a defensive tackle prospect that the Saints looked at, very high on his style. Like I said about losing Malcolm Brown and Sheldon Rankins, that could hurt. And of course you had Dikembe Ogundeji from Notre Dame, who's another guy they spoke to. And like I talked about, guys, from these pass rushers, I'm not really wild about the current crop of pass rushers. There's no Chase Young or nobody like that. I mean, some of them guys they talk about, like Russo from Miami and some of these other guys, but I'm not really thrilled. I watched tape on the edge rushers. I'm not really there's not a complete or polished pass rusher amongst this crop this year. A lot of these guys are prospects. You see them half the time, half the year, they're incomplete. Some look a little better than others, but not anybody blowing the doors off you, running away with it. And I would see like a crop of these guys, you would see probably do better like toward the second or third or second round or third round. That'll give you some value there, but I'm not really blown away. Joshua. You got Joshua I. A lot of these guys, I'm not going to try to pronounce this. You try to pronounce this. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to say Josh I from Illinois, another big wide receiver who the Saints prospect, 6'2", 220. He's a guy that is known as catching the ball. Very strong hands, and he got decent speed as well, got good size to him and physical. So the Saints looked at him. They look at Quinn Minards from Wisconsin, the offensive lineman. They got there as well. The Saints always looking for a lineman. Cornerback Graham Jr. from Oregon, another cornerback, kind of bit of a undersized dude right there. 5'10", got 31. Look how he got some long arms. You could tell by looking at the pictures here. Look a little stiff standing up there. Maybe they took a picture of him at a bad moment or whatever. But 5'10" with 31-inch arms is something else. But you would like, he got 1,000 snaps in coverage and a lot of play there. But that's still a size I'm not really happy with. That 5'10", you got guys averaging 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", big wide receivers and tight ends. You want a guy with some size, just not a mosquito, So I don't know, but the Saints looked at this kid. He had 8 interceptions. So he does. When you got a guy that small, there's a reason why guys look at drafting. He's usually a ball hawk, very smart, instinctive, and stuff like that. And you got to be that way if you're a small cornerback, Also, linebacker KJ Britt from Auburn. Don't go look at LSU's people. Not at all. Don't look at them. Go over there and look at Auburn's people. Let's talk to Auburn people. I guarantee ain't one goddamn LSU person on this list, and you shouldn't be surprised by that. Or Tulane, for that matter, or University of Lafayette, or Louisiana Tech. None of those. I guarantee you, not one Louisiana prospect is on this list. It'll keep growing, but as far as what it is, let's keep going. K. Britt was buried on Auburn's depth chart for much of his career, didn't start in 2019, had hand surgery, and seen as a third-day prospect whose meeting contributors come on special teams. But what about Jabril Cox? What about him? You got cornerback, another Oregon State guy, and Demodore Lenore out of Oregon. This is another defensive back the Saints will have an opportunity to take a look at. I don't know what's up with them looking at these Oregon guys. I don't understand. Wide receiver Rondale Moore out of Purdue's a really good weapon, very fast guy. This guy's a blur. He's a weapon, man. And listen, this dude would be absolutely terrific. Some people looking at, I've seen drafts take Rondale Moore out of Purdue at the bottom of the first round. I've seen him go anywhere between the bottom of the first into the top or the middle of the third round in most professional mock drafters draft. But this dude has first round talent. He is a speedy blur. Now, he came from Purdue, like I said, and it tests well. Athletic, he brings playmaker potential, a slot guy as well, but he can develop to be outside as well. The issue is whether the team can maximize his few routes he's mastered already and find ways to get the ball in space. He is very elusive, and he's a weapon. So if Sean Payton sees this guy maybe late in the draft, second round, and Rondale Moore is there, I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints pick up on him. I mean, he's just so explosive. It's ridiculous, man, to have a blur like that out there. We'll see. Safety Joshua Bledsoe from Missouri reports that Justin Mello Bledsoe has good size for the position, experience playing a variety of roles. Similar to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and already met with many teams already and could be picked in the early rounds. So we'll see. And I've heard about Joshua Bledsoe. He'll pop your head off too. Running back Javian Hawkins from Louisville, another little smallish running back there who can catch the ball out the backfield, more of a satellite back, scat back guy like what Bo was when he was here out of La Tech when the Saints picked him. He's only 5'9", 182 pounds, but he set school records with 1,525 yards rushing in 2020. So he gets behind those big offensive linemen, and he darts out of there, similar to what Darren Sproles would do when he'll get low and whatnot. He's the Tommy Lee Lewis. He can play multiple positions. He catches the ball like a wide receiver. He's very tough. And he can, I've seen footage where he tries to run over you, but that's not his strong suit. But he's stronger than he looks, but has a lot of speed. Can do a lot for an offense. So I'm not surprised Coach Payton be looking at this kid, man. He'll be a weapon. Ashanti Samuel Jr., the son of former Pro Bowler, is there as well. And according to the Spuns, here's the top cornerback prospect Saints fans have been clamoring for. Samuel plays much bigger than his limited size. He's 5'10", 184. With ball skills, he's logged 29 pass defense in his career. He's also a willing tackler. If Samuel tests well athletically, just might sneak into the first round. A lot of people have Ashanti Samuel sliding a bit and other larger cornerbacks going up in the draft. So I've seen a grade of having him back toward the bottom of the first round into the second round of the draft. So it'll be interesting. But listen, the pedigree is there with Ashanti Samuel Jr. He's a fantastic cornerback. I know he's small at 5'10". But listen, like I said about those smallish guys, like these guys in the bloodline that he has, he's a guy that knows. He's very instinctive, really intelligent, and he's not the typical 5'10" guy. You know what I'm saying? He will go out for the tackle, but he also makes it the point to try to make plays as well. He has good footwork. If you put the tape on, his footwork is excellent, or what Shaq would say, his feet work. He ain't running on one foot. That's what Shaq would tell you. He says feet work. So let's use Shaq terms. So he said his feet work is good, and he does have good feet work, because the bottom line is he can make moves, and he's fluid hips, and he got some other stuff he got to clean up there. But Ashanti Samuel, the seniors taught this kid how to play the cornerback position. He had to, because Ashanti Samuel himself was undersized as well, and he made a living in the NFL just being smart and doing the right thing. So expect a big deal out of his son. He played really masterful too at Florida State, despite his size. Another guy from Northwestern up there in Chicago is Greg Newsome. A lot of people is high on Greg Newsome. They're not talking about him a lot. I put the footage on. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, very physical, does a good job of keeping pace with the wide receivers. He does tend to look in the backfield and try to pay attention to the quarterback, but he gets hands on you. He knows how to get the wide receivers' hands off him from grappling. He does have a high propensity to locate the ball when wide receivers look. I did notice that on the field. He does have a high football IQ like Ashanti Samuel Jr. does. A few things he got to clean up at times. He kind of looks a little stiff in his motions at time, but outside of that, man, this kid here, man, needs to be a lot higher in draft pools than what he is. But he said Newsome has a reputation, highly talented zone corner with size, and I had seen him play some man-to-man too, but he developed more physical set of skills, but he didn't face much high talent in Northwestern. You beat who you beat. The conference struggles with the C virus last year, and in just 6 games in 2020, exiting the season finale with Ohio State at early game. But this kid has a lot of pluses to his game, man. And like you put the tape on him, he does look good. Some things need to clean up, but he does look good. Trill Williams from Syracuse, another cornerback the Saints are looking at. It's quite obvious they're looking at trying to maybe perhaps get a young cornerback in the draft. Williams, one of the most versatile defensive backs in the draft, having played well out of the boundary. Before moving to the slot as a college career progressed, he also has some experience lining up at safety spots, creeping up to the line of scrimmage as a pressure player. He's drawing a lot of attention as a potential mid-round pick. He also tackles really well. Got a good mentality too. Tight end Tommy Treble from Notre Dame that they're looking at. Treble's a fascinating player and is rightfully drawing a lot of interest from the NFL teams. He was a tone-setting blocker for the Notre Dame. He lined up all over the formation, earning comparisons to San Francisco's fullback Kyle Juszczyk, or whatever. But his body type is close to the Saints mainstay Josh Hill, who ranks fourth among active players in games played for the Saints with 117. Trimble could be a successor as a third-day draft pick, which is most interesting because I would think the Saints would look at getting a veteran to pair with the young Adam Troutman. And perhaps if they were looking at having another tight end behind him, they could use Jawan Johnson, the big physical wide receiver, maybe convert him into a tight end. You have a little bit more athleticism with him, as they did bring in Armah, the fullback who has a lot of athleticism, who they got over from Carolina. So that guy plays H-back. He can also play running back for you, like a fullback, running back, and spots he can line up as a tight end. So to be honest with you, I've seen a lot of stuff happen with the Saints, and they do provide themselves with a lot of versatility in that way. Okay, let's keep it going. Anthony Swartz, a wide receiver out of Auburn, another dude there that they're looking, another SEC guy, just not LSU guy. And they're saying he's a prolific track and field athlete, gets open easily, raw speed against SEC competition, but lacks the skills to beat NFL corners at the Lincoln. Said, well, we looking at him then. It's 6'1", 170, has athletic tools to improve with the right coach, but figures to be a prospect, late round draft pick. Well, what about the LSU guys? All right, Cameron Bynum from California, another cornerback, is the only boards in in-depth zone corner with eager tackling, altitude, and running game. Bynum could flourish in the right system, but hasn't shown the skills needed to hold down the starting job in the man-heavy defense. Maybe develops them with the right coaching. He's a solid late-round prospect. A lot of cornerbacks the Saints are looking at. Another cornerback from San Diego State. Boy, they'll go everywhere but LSU. Darren Hall, San Diego State. Hall started his career as safety before moving to cornerback, doing his best work in zone coverage out of the boundary after breaking up 16 passes as a sophomore. Let's see what else we got there. He bagged 3 interceptions in just 18 games. However, his lack of length, he's 5'11", 190 or so, 30-inch arm reach. For me, he could be limited to lining up in a formation to protect him. So tight end Brevin Jordan from Miami, another tight end they're looking at. Like other tight ends, the Saints have shown interest in Jordan. More of a bulked up running back with athleticism to beat defenders on routes downfield rather than an inline blocker who can box out smaller opponents, contested catches, think less Jeremy Shockey and more David Thomas. That's not hardly a bad thing. He says it's not hardly a bad thing, but the particular prototype could mean he's not drafted until the mid rounds. Offensive lineman Tevin Jenkins, as they're looking to add another offensive lineman to the trade. The Saints, Coach Payton always looking for those type of guys. There's Zaven Collins, the big 6'4", 260-pound linebacker who you can line up as either in or linebackers. Somebody we're interested in. Northwestern quarterback Patrick Ramsey, who's a quarterback that they looking at as well. Could we be that guy? How about Ambry Thomas, a cornerback from Michigan, another cornerback way up there, another prospect we're looking at. Let me get through this. Wide receiver Emir Smith Marset from Iowa. This is a big old guy. He's what they say, he finished his college career ranked 10th all time in Iowa. Well, all-purpose yards there. He finished his college career ranked 10th with 34.9. Like Harrison Callaway is probably a late round prospect. Lucky teams hope to get him probably an undrafted. You got the defensive tackle out of UCF. You got Chauncey Golston out of Iowa, a defensive end prospect. And that's everybody as it stands that the Saints have looked at. And of course, there are no LSU or Tulane or ULL guys on this list. Of course not. No, that's still got time to scout them though, right? All right, let's keep going. And here's a full order of the Saints picks in 2021 NFL draft. And this is how it looks after all the violations have taken hold and whatnot. How does it look? This could be an oversight by the NFL, but it's noteworthy that the Vikings are listed as forfeiting the 7th round draft choice due to discipline reasons. So keep your fingers crossed. And this was prior to them handing that punishment. With that said, here are the Saints draft picks for the 2021 season as currently stands, including compensatory selections and trade acquisitions. So here we go. This is what you guys are looking like. And you can see the Saints have done a pretty damn good job of stockpiling and getting some picks. Now, of course, they already had the 28th overall pick in the first round, the 60th pick in the second round. The 98th pick was a compensatory selection given to the Saints due to the fact that they lost Teddy Bridgewater to the Carolina Panthers. So we get that compensatory selection. We also get another compensatory selection at 105 in round 3 due to former Saints player, administrator Terry Fontenot going to Atlanta. So with that being said, we got a pick for him and next year. So we got those 2 picks there compensatory. We retain our 4th round selection at 133. And of course, we get a compensatory pick for the loss of AJ Klein, who balled out with Buffalo. We get a 6th round one at 218 for that. And then, of course, we jump to the 7th round, in which we have 2 7th-round selections. Of course, the Saints did get a trade with Malcolm Brown going, and they got a 2nd-round selection for him, 229 from the Jags. And, of course, we did have that 7th-round pick, 255 in the bottom. So with that being said, the Saints do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks. How about that? So we have some picks here. We got 4 picks inside of the top 105 players. Saints should be able to make some things happen here with a 1, a 2, and 2 threes, unless the Saints move around. Now, is it a possibility the Saints could say, okay, listen, somebody could trade with the Saints in the back end of the 1st round, and the Saints could then go into the 2nd round and collect even more picks to add to their treasure chest? Yeah, they could do that. The Saints could trade back. That's definitely the case, especially if they see somebody that they might want, or somebody might give him an extra 2nd and an extra 3rd. That could help out. So the Saints do have a lot of picks as they pile on picks here to make some moves. And it's so important to remember that just because the Saints wiggled themselves down from $100 million cap deficit, or them being a red, that doesn't mean it hadn't went away. Remember, to next year, the Saints will be facing the similar circumstances next year when they'll be dealing with the loss of 20-something players from the team. So be mindful of that. That's why these picks are so uber important, is that the Saints can then retool the team, and over the next 2 years with solid drafting, we can be able to have another 3 to 4 to 5 year window built. Now, of course, Cam and Demario Davis, so he's on a 3-year deal. I think Cam has 3 years left. Coach Payton has 3 years left. So, as a team takes more of a new team look, you're gonna have a lot of draft picks and some cheap veterans. Probably, I ain't saying long-term veterans that the Saints assign. You might have guys that get on this team that might be on 1 or 2 year deals, but ultimately the long-range time frame of the team will be built around the draft process, obviously because of the salary cap, and the team is getting older. Drew Brees recently retired at 40 plus years of age. You had Tommy Morstead, who was up there, and several other players who are aging over time. Demario Davis is well in his 30s. So is Cam Jordan now. And a lot of the players on defense are getting a little older. Malcolm Jenkins is older. So you guys are going to have to look at that. So the Saints are going to have to do what they can do over the next several years to have solid draft selections to kind of build this team with youth and smart veteran acquisition here. So we'll see how it all shakes. But this is a good thing to be right now for the Black and Gold to have this many picks, because we can definitely have all these guys on the team. There's a lot of spots to be filled here. So the Saints are without their own picks in the 3rd round. Last year, they traded that to acquire Zach Bourne. Remember him? 5th. And then at the 5th, they swapped the linebacker Quan Alexander. 6 rounds exchanged to poach quarterback Tommy Stevens from Carolina. And of course, the Saints lost a 7th-round pick due to the crap that happened. So and this is a quick little bit of information. So there's a couple of feathers for your cap. If the Saints hold on to all 8 of those selections, it would be tied with the 06 for the 2nd most picks they've ever used in one draft class, with Coach Payton calling the shots. Behind 2015, they had 9 picks. Their 4 picks in that top 105 selections are tied with 2011 for the most behind the 2017, which was 6, and 2015, which was 5. Their 07's draft class came close, with running back Antonio Pittman was selected at 108. So the Saints have a lot of picks this year, and I'm thinking like next year too, it's going to be a similar thing where they're going to try to stockpile as much draft capital as they can, because it's a cheaper and more effective way to build a team, as opposed to deal with, they're going to be doing all this heavy money, and we're going to be in a similar boat next year in terms of the cap. So just be mindful of that. And also just to let the family members know, going forward as you pop on the NFL 21 NFL free agency list as it currently stands, and we're looking at it. Currently, right now, these are the free agents that are currently available right now. These are some of the guys that you can see on your screen right now. Alex Smith, Geno Atkins. Saints do need defensive tackle help. Do they go to the draft, or do they go to free agency and get a veteran for a couple of years to help them keep together? Geno Atkins, who's the former son of Gene Atkins, one of my favorite all-time Saint safeties. Gene Atkins played back there with Brett Maxey in the Dome Patrol. Remember him? His son Geno Atkins, 33 years old, was released by Cincinnati. He could possibly be a guy that the Saints look at. Maybe we can get him on a cheaper deal. That would be pretty cool. Also, Jarrell Casey's out there as well. Now, in terms of the end, when you talk about the defensive end, defensive tackle, could be somewhere where you can use a veteran guy. We can use a draft pick there as well, in my opinion. So do the Saints do either A or one? They stockpile all these picks. I'm pretty sure they'll start using at least some of these picks to tool some of the defensive positions up. Maybe you add a few veterans in there to kind of bridge the gap as well. Maybe a cheap, inexpensive veteran on a 2 or 3 year contract, that might help out as well. So with that being said, there are a few names to consider. Geno Atkins is on the list. Jarrell Casey. These guys are 33, 32 years old. Kawan Short, I don't know. He's been getting big cakes. I don't know how his market value will look. There's guys like Melvin Ingram, who's a tweener, who can play linebacker or line up as a defensive end. He's out there. A lot of people like him. Carlos Dunlap is another guy that's out there. Quan Alexander is out there right now. He's not getting a lot of taken. A lot of people not looking at him right now, but really the Saints and Quan, I think he wants to come back on a cheaper 1 year prove-it deal. We'll see how that all shakes as well. As far as anything else, if you scroll down a list, the cornerback selection, I think is one of the biggest one. The top free agent cornerback that's available currently speaking is Malcolm Butler at 31 years of age. Remember, the Saints several years ago attempted to bring Malcolm Butler onto the team, and ultimately he shunned him to go to the Tennessee Titans, who ultimately several years later put him in the street. But he had a pretty decent run after coming from the New England Patriots with the Tennessee Titans. Do the Saints then go back to Malcolm Butler for a cheap 1 or 2 year deal to bring him in to pair him with Laddie Daddy? Is that a case? Of course, there are other defensive ends to consider if you're looking for a cheap veteran option. How about Justin Houston? Played for the KC Chiefs, played for the Indianapolis Colts last year, accomplished veteran. That he's just 32 years of age, but he gets sacks. He knows how to also guard against the run as well. How about Ryan Kerrigan, one of my favorite players with Washington football team over the last several seasons? Very productive defensive end. He's 33 years of age. He'll be a good fit here in New Orleans, I think. And of course, you look at other guys. Casey Hayward is a guy that rumors on the street where the Saints were talking to Casey Hayward. There are no reports, as far as my research determined, that can link Casey Hayward and the Saints to game. It's just merely street rumors. Of course, we know Justin Simmons signed a $60 million deal, so they have to update that. And you look at the rest of these guys are just interesting options. Richard Sherman is here as well. You want a veteran wide receiver. There's several on the list as well that you could look at, including Golden Tate. If you're looking for a guy that can play the slot, if you want a veteran that can play the slot, I think you might be able to get a Golden Tate, but maybe he gets in the way of the young guys developing. But whatever you want, they're still cheap outs. Pouncey's not on here. The Pouncey boys retired, so this is not accurate. But a lot of what you see, a lot of these guys are available, and I don't think most of these guys will cost you a lot of money to get. So we'll see exactly how the Saints play this. As you can see, I'm scrolling so many players on here that the Saints can easily look at. Perhaps as far as the tight end's concerned, Virgil Hill is still out here. Tight end Jesse James, which was linked to the Saints several years ago. Do they finally bring him in? So there's a lot of questions to be answered, and I think between now and the draft, a lot of that stuff will be figured out. Tight end behind Adam Troutman, Tyler Eifert. Remember, the Saints were tied to him in trade talk several seasons ago, trying to get Tyler Eifert. Do they go back to him this time around? So, Chase Daniels is back on the block. Do you bring Chase Daniels in to give him an opportunity to compete at the quarterback position? How about that? I don't know. So, it's a lot of questions, man. A lot of questions out there, to be honest with you. But there are a lot of fantastic players out there who the Saints, if they wanted to, can bring in on a cheap deal. How about, look at this, Malik Hooker, man. He's 25 years of age. Malik Hooker is a fantastic safety. He's a hitter. He has some injury issues, but you can get a 25-year-old safety like Malik Hooker to come on in and see what he got. You know what I'm saying? Why not? You know, so like I said, there's a lot of stuff that we're looking at. There are reports that people are writing that I've seen about Darian Fells. I'm not really happy about them talking about going look at Darian Fells. Why the hell would you go look at Darian Fells? Darian Fells don't want to look at Darian Fells. Virgil Green is another dude. I mean, get somebody you can that's a starter level guy, not some bum ass tight end that we don't need. So, you know, like I said, there are other guys up there. Darian Fells. I'm like, how you wasted time writing why the Saints should get Darian Fells for real, man? Seriously? But anyway, we're going to go over all the stories right here, and then we're going to flash to the mainstream as we getting close to our time. And then, of course, I'm going to take questions. If you got questions or in the chat, any questions that you want answered or comments that you want to make, drop them in the chat right now. And for the summation of the rest of the show, I'm going to read those chats to the best of my ability to give you the answers. If I don't know, I don't know. Jets signed former, of course, we know about the Jets did sign Rankins to a 2-year deal worth almost about $17 million, according to this report. So Super Sheldon with the shimmy will be shaking it for the Jets for this upcoming season. So good luck to you, Sheldon, and thank you for your service, sir. Big ups to you. All right, also the Saints forfeit the 6th-round pick in 2022. That's what the NFL and Roger Goodell came up with in 2022 because of the C-19 violations. We talked about that. We also talked about Marcus accepting his tag and setting the stage, which was set at 10.5. Marcus Williams is saying, listen, I'll take the tag and we'll see where we can go from there. Panthers agreed to terms with ex-Saint tight end Dan Arnold. That's right, the same son gun that dropped a touchdown pass in a Rams game. He is now a Carolina Panthers working with Joe Brady, you know, behind Ian Thomas there and Carolina. So that's a bit of the news just to drop on the family members as well. And of course, we talk about what else was there? Other news. We talk about the free agency news of what free agents are still out there just to tickle your fancy about, you know, what we're looking at there. You know, what's still out there? Well, that's some of the stuff that's out there. And we, of course, went over to the list of all the prospects that the Saints have talked to virtually or scouted. And you ask them, McHugh, of any of them LSU guys? Nope, none of them LSU guys. A couple of Alabama guy, a couple of Auburn guys, a couple of Oregon State guys. No Tulane, no LSU, no. Don't even ask. No, it is not. And of course, we went over the picks the Saints currently have for this upcoming draft coming up. And this is what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What is it? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 picks currently right now with the black and gold. First round, second round, 2/3, 4th, 6th, and 2 7s. How about that? Saints got a lot of draft capital to deal with, and they're going to need it, man, trying to fix some of these moves and moving ahead. So Jeff Ireland for president sits firm trenched in at the position to make some of these things happen. So with that being said, Jeff Ireland for president indeed, fam. As we look at the Saints doing what they need to do from a perspective of figuring out how to add more talent to the team without raising the overall salary cap. Nonetheless, Mickey Loomis will get that done. You know, Mickey pops up on the show from time to time to give his perspective on things. And, you know, we got love for Mickey Loomis, man, on many levels. And, you know, that's just what it is. You know, Mickey. All right, so big ups to the family members. Thank y'all for chiming in the live stream, man. I appreciate y'all being here. Much love to y'all, Jasper, and the rest of the great Saint Think Tank family members. Much love to you guys, man. All right, Olden Force says we need him, Q. Newsome. Yeah, I know. I've seen footage on Newsome. He should be there at 28. Whether the Saints take him or not, we'll see, man. But I think the Saints going to have a very commonsensical draft this year, to be honest with you, fam. It'll be interesting to see. All right. Yeah, and I also think that, you know, the Geno Atkins move wouldn't be a bad move either. Now, we talked about J.C. Horn coming on with the Saints and the Saints drafting him. But Geno Atkins, who's Gene Atkins' son, who's a proven really good interior defensive tackle, who you can get like a 1 or 2 year cheap deal on to kind of help with that nose tackle position. And you can still take an interior lineman if you want. He'll just work behind him until he's ready, you know. So I think the Saints will get some of these guys. A lot of these guys develop pretty good. All right, Anthony, what's up, Anthony? Who that to you? True Louisiana, who that to you? Kenny, who that to you? So they got the 7 back. They are taking a 6 for 2022, Q. Yep. Thank you for that. Cameron, what's up? Says Alex Arma about to do good with us. Yes, he is. You got, for those who are not familiar with Alex Arma, feel free to go and look up his footage. I did. And I was very impressed. What comes up, because remember last year I kept saying that we have an old school fullback, like like if it was the Chicago Bears of the Dick era, Michael Burton would be the perfect type of guy. You know, if you're gonna have 5 fullbacks on it, man, listen, man, my bottom line is this: you got to have some athleticism. You know, and that's the bottom line. You know, if you're gonna be in Sean Payton's wide open offense and you're a fullback, you got to be able to play the running back, fullback. You got to do some H back. You know, you got to line up as a tight end and in the slot. And Armand did all of that under Joe Brady's system. So Sean Payton kind of sticking it a bit to Joe Brady by taking Armand from him. He was a fantastic pickup for the Saints to be able to grab that guy and bring him in here as one of the first, out of the building signings. So not a bad move by Coach Payton. A lot of people kind of laughed at Coach Payton when he signed the fullback, but you ain't. A lot of them ain't laughing no more. They was laughing because they didn't do their damn homework. Look that guy up. The guy's impressive. These nuts is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. These nuts is in the building. Just let you know. Oh, man. All right, Tramal says Payton about to get Cam good players. All right. Odin says KJ Wright. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think so though, man. I've been asking about him for a while, man. I don't think we get him. Kim Phillips, who that to you, Kim? Big ups to you. All right. Tramal said I don't trust nothing with a hooker in it. Oh, dog. Well, listen, I expected you to catch that when I was saying it there, Malik Hooker. You know, hey, man. You know, imagine if Malik was on the same team with the Atlanta kicker. Boy, what a hell of a team. What kind of party they having? Anthony says, heard some Snead news. Also, what y'all think about and then Ndamukong Suh? No, I'm done with him. The Saints approached that big sorry something, you know what? And he turned the Saints down and go, nah, enough of that. If we come at you once and you say no, and was offering him good money, he said no, go ahead on about your business, bro. You could have really set something off in New Orleans. He got a championship anyway. True Louise Animal says our rivals love signing former Saints and former LSU Tigers to use against us. Yeah, we still haven't got that together. All them scouts, all those were people we virtually met up with, and none of them were LSU, Tulane, ULL guys. I mean, none of them. It's all a bunch of guys. I'm like, how you not scouting the guys as in-state? What is this? Especially in this age that we dealing with. You're supposed to take advantage of the area that you are. I mean, you don't understand. Atlanta coming way past you to go scout LSU. What you not doing? It's ridiculous, man. I can understand if the team wasn't if LSU or any of these local colleges wasn't turning out professional teams. But I mean, it only helps the view of the team if you're taking players from the area where you are based. You lock down your base, have a pipeline there where you can bring talent from there. You have, linebackers, safeties. You can't tell me the Saints can't use safeties and linebackers from LSU or edge rushers or tight ends or wide receivers. We turned out some of the best wide receivers in NFL coming up out of here. Jordan Jefferson tore it up, and you're going to see Chase tear it up. We turned out some fantastic players, man. Saints need to get in line, man. And they just took Will Clapp that year just to shut you the hell up. We drafted an LSU guy. We tired of y'all asking. Yeah, you dropped Will Clapp. Will Clapp, that's supposed to be the end-all, be-all, man. Jordan Dog 93 said Mickey Loomis is a cap genius, man. He definitely knows how to finagle that cap. So you're absolutely right. Thank you for that, Jordan. Much love to you. All right. C, what's up, C Brook? Fisher Sinker says, yep. All right. GM Kev, what's happening, brother? How you doing? What's up, Tess? How you doing? Good to see Tess in the building. Much love to you, Tess. Thank you for posting those links, my friend. All right. He says cornerback Jordan. All right, I hear you, D. Sean, what's up, Sean? Big ups. He said them 8 picks are a god. I know, Brad, and that's something. Because the compensatory picks is really what did it for you. If you go back, if you remove the compensatory picks, the Saints were sunk this year, man, without those compensatory selections. They really were, because you had 4 of them. You had 4 picks. You would only have 4 picks in the draft if it wasn't for the compensatory selections. So the Teddy Bridgewater got you a third when he signed with Carolina. The Atlanta pick for Fontenot got you 2 third rounds, one this year and one next year. Then you had the AJ Klein compensatory pick that was a 6th round pick, and then the trade pick that you sent, that you got in exchange for the $5 million off the books. You got a 7th-round selection from the Jaguars, and then you already had a 7th-round selection already. So with that being said, yeah, that the 8 picks means the Saints are definitely, man, going to tool up in the draft. And don't forget the undrafted aspect of this as well. There's still that portion of it too. So with that being said, you're absolutely right. There are Godson. Thank you, Sean. Who that to you? George says, yeah, we need a defensive back after losing Jack Rabbit, no doubt about it. But the question, let me ask this to the great Saint think tank. KK50444 lady says, what up, Big Q and fam? No, that's Ghostface. What's up, Ghostface? Ghostface Grill in the building. And KK says, Q, Loomis on the phone, pick it up. Yeah, no, he can't be on the phone. It's past Mickey bedtime, man. Mickey gets up early in the morning, man. He's not on the phone right now. I don't think that's the right phone. I don't think that's the right person on there, KK. I don't think that's Mickey on the phone. Are you sure? You sure Mickey's on the line right now? He's probably asleep at this time of the night. You know, he need to drink. Mickey gets up early in the morning. You know, he get up early in the morning. All right. All right. What's up, Jamie? All right. He says, who that Big Q? You know, Peyton don't want LSU players. It's a shame, man. It appears that way. You know, and man, it's such a shame, man. You know, it really is. I wish we did take more of an emphasis at looking at those players, because those same said players come back and destroy your ass. You know, we could use those sideline to sideline linebackers that Tampa Bay had, and Devin White from LSU. I know the time when he got drafted, the Saints weren't in that position. Perhaps they could have moved up there. Who knows? But I keep saying year after year, we keep letting go really athletic linebackers. We need to pay attention to LSU more. Coach Payton, we need to make that happen. Stop forsaking LSU, man. Looking at Ohio State and Oregon State for talent, man. Come on now. I mean, you got to at least have at least 2 or 3 guys from LSU up on that book. I don't see nobody up on that damn virtual list. Now, they're still scouting. There's still a month or so left to go before the games are played. So maybe you'll add some more talent to that list. And, you know, we'll see some more. All right. Thank you for that. What's up, Elwood? Who they say LSU period many positions we produce at LSU for the NFL. We do, bro. I keep saying we need to pay attention to that. You know, True Louisiana said they're creating the future Ryan Clarks, but not using some Louisiana talent. Kim, what's up, fam? Said Big Q, we need a Loomis cameo appearance tonight. He ain't. KK said that he was on the line, but I said Mickey ain't up this lady's sleep. He did all that work. He done wore himself out. Mickey somewhere asleep. You know, he get up about 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, and do his thing, old Mickey. Brandon, what's up? Brandon said the Saints are going to get rid of a lot of compensatory picks in 2020, losing a bunch. I know, bro. That's the thing. The 2022 thing, I don't really want to. I've been looking at the 2022 moves coming up, looking at the contracts. I was going to show, you know, like maybe next week show people we in for in 2022, but I'm like, nah, I'm going to chill. It'll be a little overkill because people right now kind of still in their feelings from the playoff games. They're in their feelings about Drew. They're in their feelings about a lot of things going on right now. Not LSU. The Saints are going through a transition, and a lot of people who have a difficult time making a transition from Drew Brees to whatever it's going to be, they're dealing with a lot of change right now, so they're in their feelings. So for me to come along and say, okay, now that you guys are still in your feelings, let me give you some more shit to be in your feelings about, and then show 2022 how many players you're losing, you know, with the cap. Nah, it's just, I'm going to just wait. You know what I'm saying? When they're feeling better. I'm going to wait till they feel a little better before I pop it up on them. All right. Thank you for that, Brandon. Seabrook Fish and Sicker says, we all know they're going to trade them picks and move up like always. I hope not, bro. Well, we'll see. You might see some movement there, to be honest with you. You know, you stockpile picks so that you can make at least one move or so. Maybe they move back. You know what I'm saying? But if there's a guy that you really like, then you possibly might see Sean Payton make a move. But also remember, whoever they don't get in the draft, they will get after the draft in the undrafted area, which is where we score big as well. So we have a 2-part draft. We have the drafted and the undrafted area of the draft where we going to really make some stuff work. So even if we only had 4 or 5 picks, the Saints were going to do a hefty bag and picking up undrafted talent to help the team out. That's when they really shine as well. So we need to do that. All right. Thank you there. Edward says Mickey knocked out. Brandon says Carol Granderson will have a great year in 20. I hope so, bro. All right. D said he's better than Brandon. Tess says, think of all the talented players we could have snatched from LSU. I know, Tess. I know. I've been preaching it for years. KK says, put some peck on my LSU Tigers, Sean. I mean, put some respect on them. You know what I'm saying, Coach Payton? Put some respect on them, bro. Go out there and take a look at them, bro, sometimes. You know, just right up the street from you. Getting your whip, send one of them guys up there and go ahead on. All right. True Louisiana says, yeah, later I'm saying that though. Yep. All right, let's see. Jamal says Peyton begging Breeze to come out of retirement. What's up, Kid Sean? He says Peyton need the family to scout players for the team, man. Real time. Hey, LSU has been, bro. It's undoubtable now. The type of players Jabril Cox is better than that guy that they were scouting. And they were talking to virtually speaking. Jabril Cox is better than that guy. His position is second, third round. That's what he's saying Jabril Cox goes into. So, he could be a fantastic pickup for him. And he's one of those guys that cover a lot of area too. In the mold of a Devin Bush type of dude as well. And he's Devin White type of guy as well. Now, what he does is even though they got him at linebacker, he has the ability to play. He's a hitter. He's intelligent. He can cover a lot of ground. Cox would be an excellent addition to your team. And that's really what you're looking for, athletic linebackers that cover a lot of field, because that modified nickel package requires those 2 linebackers to play sideline to sideline all around the field. So, you're going to need somebody with the athleticism and the intelligence to be able to do that. And Jabril Cox does fit that mold. Now, do the Saints then, pick the guy up? Is a whole nother kettle of fish. I keep telling people about how big Coach Payton and Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, feel about Zach Bowen. They like Zach Bowen and think he's ready to take a next step. We'll see. We'll see how it all fits. But I'm for Jabril Cox in there too. I think Jabril Cox come in there and he can outplay Zach Bowen. He fits what the Saints doing more than Bowen doing. And Bowen might have him beat by a year, but Bowen wasn't doing all the stuff. That LSU defense with him moving around and how he did that type of style of play, he could play that with the Saints. I'm just saying, making an eye comparison and seeing his strengths and weaknesses. He could play that position for the Saints as whether or not they're looking at him, and probably they're not. Sad to say. All right. He said, I thought talent was our talent scout. He's a lot more than that. DLP says Saints should sign veteran cornerback and draft Newsome or Paulson of Barrow, Ed Barrow, who is overall score of 99, which is highest among all players coming out. Okay, I'm going to have to look that kid up. I know about Newsome. I have to check on Paulson. I have to check on him. But you got to sign a starting level cornerback at this point. I agree with you, that DLP, and who that to you. Most certainly, you got to sign, and there's talking about Sherman, but there are reports saying that Sherman's linked to the Vikings now. So if you want him, you might have a bit of a bidding war with the Minnesota Vikings. If I'm the Saints, I'm talking to Malcolm Butler to see what he wants. If I'm the Saints, I'm talking to Casey Hayward to see what he wants. You can't talk to Xavier Rhodes because he's gone. He went back to Indianapolis. So, I'm looking at starting cornerbacks if I'm the Saints. I'm just not waiting on Sherman. I'm talking to Casey Hayward. I'm talking to Malcolm Butler to see what they want. Thank you, Ghostface. Says Big Q, I might miss some episodes, but I watch them all. Always hit the like button. Thank you, Ghostface. Much love to you, and thank you for your super chat. Thank all the family members for y'all super chats tonight. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you, and thank you very kindly. All right. Space Ghost says, can we get a younger running back to replace Grandpa Latavius and Giraffe Legs Murray? We'll see, well, I don't know if running back or maybe if somebody falls to you, that might be something that you can look at doing. I would be mad if, I don't think Najee Harris, or you'd be lucky if Trevor Etienne fall to you, but they have the 2 fantastic running backs out of Carolina. From North Carolina. That's awesome. They got a couple other running backs as well. But I don't know if the Saints see that as an immediate need. You never know with Coach Payton, though. Thank you. Thank you for that call, though. A DLP says QB Davis Mills hasn't been getting much attention. That's true. I did look at some Davis Mills. He don't pop off the tape to me. He makes some pretty decent throws too, but he says, but his pro day opened up some eyes. Yep. He said I like him a lot alongside Ellinger. Well, yeah, I watched Davis Mills. He don't pop like Sam Ellinger. I don't know what it is about Ellinger's game. Maybe it's because we've been watching Drew Brees for over 10 years now. And you see a lot of Sam Ellinger game in Drew Brees game in Ellinger. And that's what I see. It's like Drew Brees games with a bit of like a current contemporary spin on it. I mean, he's all over the field. He's pointing, he's throwing the ball. And he don't have an explosive arm. He ain't, he's 6'2", but he's 220 pounds. But he's a leader. He's fiery. He's intelligent. And like I was telling people last show or the show before that about Ellinger, is that he's Drew's understudy and Drew mentors him from time to time. He comes from the same high school Drew came from. And Drew Brees knows the kid and like and I wouldn't be surprised, like one of the family members say Q, he said, bro, don't be thinking for a second that Coach Payton don't know about Sam Ellinger. So, I mean, if you sit up there drafting Drew Brees clones like we did with Tommy Stevens last year, and I kept saying, why the hell are we looking at Taysom Hill clones when we have a first ballot Hall of Famer in Drew Brees? Why don't we look for Drew Brees clones? If we're going to look for clones and we got a limited amount of time, why not look for a Hall of Famer and not a developmental one? And let's see how that worked out for you, didn't it? Hopefully this will, we can get that kid in here, man. We'll see. But thank you for that, DLP. Good eye on that. Seabrook says, what about the linebacker they picked last year? Zach Bowen? The Saints? Yeah, that's what I was saying is Dennis Allen them high on Zach Bowen. You know what I'm saying? They might just be high, but they definitely high on Zach Bowen. They like what Zach Bowen, his skill set going forward. So, we'll see how it shakes, man. We'll see. But they like Zach Bowen a lot. The people who don't like Zach Bowen is a lot of the Who Dat Nation and the Great Saint think tank. A lot of them don't like Zach Bowen. They don't think Zach Bowen is it. And I kept saying, listen, you're going to move up there and take Zach Bowen. Zach Bowen is going to get an opportunity to play just like Traquan Smith will. Sean Payton picked Traquan Smith out of the University of Central Florida. That's right. He's a Blazer. And then it took him 5 years or 4 years at the base of his final year of his contract, Traquan Smith, to finally get to the level of respect from the coach where he knows what he's doing on the field. You think he going to pull him out the way and pull somebody else up there? Absolutely not. He wants to see if Traquan is the man. He visualized Traquan Smith next to Mike Thomas. Now that he finally has him, you think he don't want that to occur? Think about that for a second. He drafted the kid 4 years ago to be the complimentary wide receiver next to Michael Thomas. And Traquan's thing was he was supposed to stretch the field and be the deep guy, and Coach Payton wanted to use him on the inside. Well, after 3 some odd years, he finally learned how to catch on the inside because that wasn't his game. And see, and that was poor scouting to a degree too, because just because you see a wide receiver there, don't automatically assume that he's a wide receiver that you could put on the inside to play on the inside. A lot of the coaches use these guys at a position because Traquan was a guy that stretched the field for you. If you go back and look at the Central Florida tape, he was catching deep bombs and running past people. I mean, it was a total different dude. Then when he got him, it was an adjustment period when he got to New Orleans to learn how to catch inside. He wasn't a guy used to taking hits in his face and people busting his ass and all that kind of stuff. He had to develop a tough mindset. And thanks to people like Emmanuel Sanders that helped him see that, he developed that moving forward. So that made him a tougher wide receiver, as you've seen last year, as he had his best year. So coming forward, I wouldn't dare think that Coach Payton in any regard would pull Traquan Smith out of that starting role and give it to somebody else. I think he's there. Now, only way that happens is you might hear, if you take a wide receiver high or something like that, I doubt that. But Coach Payton is comfortable with Traquan Smith. We'll see how it all shakes too. All right, let me see who else there. Thank y'all for the super chats and the cash apps. Much love to y'all family. Thank y'all. All right. Brandon says, Big Q, what's the purpose of getting Zach Bowen if we're not going to use? They're going to use him this upcoming year. Nothing happened to him. Zach Bowen is still healthy. They've been using him as a special teams player. They were supposed to use him in as a pass rusher at times. That was one of the things he did well at Wisconsin. It just never went down that way. As they had seen other guys that did better at the pass rush position. You had Malcolm Roach in there, and Glasgow was playing. Granderson had 5 sacks last year. And then you seen Trey Henderson take off, and Trey Henderson wasn't hurt as much last year, so you didn't see the need for using Zach Bowen in that capacity. So, I mean, a lot of things played in the favor to keep Zach Bowen off the field. But Bowen is the type of dude that they want to see more if he get an opportunity this year, this upcoming season, to see what he's going to do. So Jim Kess said, Paulson's a good cornerback out of Stanford. Okay, thank you for that, Kev. Jamal says, Q, you never sleep, all you need. No, but you got to get some sleep, bro. It just appears like that. I do be doing 40, 50 shows a damn month. It's a lot of shows, bro, but it's almost, it gets to a point where it's almost like breathing and walking, bro. It really do. I mean, it sounds crazy, don't it? But it really is. All right, Space Ghost says Adoree Jackson. Very interesting, bro. I just don't know if the Saints take him. He's going to want some money. And I don't think the Saints pay him. I think that's why Tennessee got rid of him. We're going to see, though. Seabrook says round 3, pick 74, Zach Bowen. Yep. Seabrook says where he at? He's on the team. He's on the team, mostly playing in a special teams role. He is healthy. He's been used as mostly as a special teams linebacker, and he made some tackles on special teams, but there wasn't a need to put him in the linebacker core. There wasn't a need to put him as a pass rusher. But this upcoming year, there will be. Remember, that was just his first year. You can't just shelve him and say he ain't nothing after his first year. You've got to get these guys opportunities to develop. You got to. You got to give them opportunity. And then when they finally develop and show you something, you don't run them out the door. You see what they can do. That's why I'm saying Traquan Smith. Don't be surprised if the Saints stay steady with Traquan Smith. All right, DLP said I like Malcolm Butler better than Sherman, who is old and injuries have crapped. Yep, Sherman, Malcolm Jenkins in secondary, not a good idea. Yeah, you have two very intelligent players, but athletically fleeting guys is major issue. Malcolm Butler does make sense there. So does Casey Hayward. But, Butler does have that pedigree, that mindset. He'll be a good compliment. The question becomes money. The Saints wanted them before. Do they want them now? So there's a familiarity. If the Saints go to Malcolm Butler, I think they get him this time around. Several years ago, we lost out to the Titans. This year, I think the Saints get Butler. You lost to Jack Rabbit. You got to get a starter for a starter. You can't come into this thing and not get a starter. If you're looking at veterans, Sherman, the thing that gives Sherman the upper leg is the fact that, you got Coach Richard back there, who's a special teams coach that has that knows Richard Sherman. That which gives Sherman the leg because of Coach Richard. But Malcolm Butler is the better fit. Even Casey Hayward underneath him is interesting too. But I kept saying the Saints had other guys out there, whether it was Xavier Rhodes, and these guys are signing for 1 year at $4 million, 1 year at $5 million. Of course, they ain't get Patrick Peterson 1 year at $10 million. But there's still talent out there. All right, let me get on down here. Our Space Ghost says, can Zach Bowen read defenses or something? I was excited about the youngster. Now, he's still learning, bro. I mean, ain't nothing. I mean, he's still very much learning. He didn't play a lot at the linebacker position last year. He really didn't. And the times that he was in there, he was lost, but you would expect that out of a rookie. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't get a lot of reps last year. But the reality is, and that's because in large purpose, Demario Davis is there all the time. Then you had Alex Anzalone, who was playing there ahead of him, so he didn't get much time. And then they brought in Quine, and Quine played all the way to week 16 until he got hurt. Then they put Alex Anzalone in there. You did see Zach Bowen get a little play, but not enough play to see what he can really do. So, I mean, in order for these players to do it, he got the athleticism. He can tackle. He has all the athleticism. He's intelligent. He just has to put it all together, and that requires time. So we'll see. All right. Tess says, thank you. Thank you. Keshawn says, Eric Stokes, cornerback, Trill Williams. Yeah, we talked about him. Rodarius Williams and cornerback Trey Brown. Yeah, those are some good cornerbacks. That's second or third day picks. Well, it could be very well. Coach Payton could find one of those guys. All right. Ghostface says, Sherman was really bad last year. Jamie says Sean Payton got Ty Montgomery back on the team. That is correct. He does. It was a good move, in my opinion, to be honest with you. Really good opinion. Really good call to bring him back on here. All right. Let me see what else we got here. Let me see. Make sure I might jumped on me for a second. All right. Kim Phillips. What's up? Kim says, Q watch. They bring Alexander. Oh, my goodness. hopefully Quan Alexander before Alexander Loney. Nobody's looking at Alexander Loney, by the way. And the better version of Alexander Loney, which was Jared, what was his name, Davis, who was taken out of Florida, who was the backup for Alex Anzalone when they were there. He ended up going to the Jets this past free agency cycle. Alex Anzalone will find a team. I don't think he fits here in New Orleans anymore. I mean, when he lost his fiery edge. He played with his hair flowing and his hair on fire, and that's what made us love Alex Anzalone and gave him that Thor type name. He wasn't Thor at all last year. He was more like Loki. He ain't Thor no more. He became Loki. That's what happened. All right. Tess says Brown improved the communication intelligence of our second. He did. Malcolm improved. Yeah, he did. You know, Kim says they're bringing back the roasted chicken crew. Ghostface said, yeah, Malcolm helped out tremendously. DLP says, he said, yes, he did, but he's 34 and not getting any faster. He also has injuries. Yeah, they're going to look. And Malcolm Brown is going to eventually get up out of here anyway. That's just my call at it, to be honest with you. Malcolm, I mean, after next year, there is a clause in the agreement. Malcolm Jenkins on a 4-year deal. After this is his second year, going to the second year of that deal. There's a divide or an opt out after the second year of Malcolm Jenkins' contract. So don't be surprised when the Saints put Jenkins in the street after this upcoming season. They're not going to commit to the additional 2 years of Malcolm Jenkins' contract. Absolutely not. This was a 2-year endeavor, a Super Bowl, a bust situation, and the Saints are merely doing that. So don't be surprised if you see guys like Malcolm Jenkins and guys like Teron Armstead and all these guys go the way of the dinosaur as a black and gold. That's why the accumulation of all these picks. And if you pay attention to the tea leaves, you can see the Saints are retooling the team because some of the people that helped the Saints get to the next level are getting a lot older. So they got to do this just right. They've got to get the right talent in there to be able to learn this team because the Saints are slowly transitioning right before your eyes, telling you we're not rebuilding. It's not a rebuild because it's not like they were a 3-16 team or something. We rebuilding to give it. No. They're just transitioning. This is a transition situation. As some people say, rebuild, retool, however you want to phrase it to make yourself feel better about it. This is the Saints are a team in transition. They're transitioning from one aspect to another. Now, what will make it a successful transition is if you can able to get younger players in here and be able to give people stability where they can be able to then have a 3 to 4 year window to do it. But if you notice, the Saints are not committing 2 to 3 year windows. I'd be very anxious to see what kind of length of the contract they give a guy like Marcus Williams. Perhaps I'm saying the contract is going to be probably 3 or 4 years, probably 4 years with an opt out after the 3rd year. Because Sean Payton, how you going to extend a guy for 5 years or whatever? And Payton's here for the next 3 years. Who knows what Coach Payton's going to do after 3 years? He might decide that he's had enough and he won't step away from football. He's been coaching for over 20 years, nonstop, you know? So what if Coach Payton wants to say, you know what, I just want to take a break from it because he's been getting a lot annoyed lately. You see how he is. And these reporters are very docile to Coach Payton. There's not, you want to know docile reporters, we have docile, domesticated as reporters down here, for real. You know what I'm saying? Not nobody asking Coach Payton the tough questions. But if you want to really know how, complimentary the media is to Coach, go listen to the rest of the media operations. The Philadelphia media, the New York media, go listen to those guys, how rough and tumble they are on these damn head coaches. They don't give them no quarter like we give Coach Payton down here, you know, and he's had it good down here, to be honest with you. So we'll see how it all shakes in the end. But, you know, longevity is a big part of this, man. He got 3 years left on his contract. All right, let's keep it going here. So we'll see. Breeze, been on beast. What it do? What's up, fam? Thank you for joining us, fam. Much love to you. Who that? All right. Kevin says Logan Ryan taking Adoree Jackson to the lunch and close to get him signed with the Giants. Well, how about that? What's up, Miss Sexy Blacksmith? What's love to you, baby? Big ups to you. Good to see you here. Seabrook Fish and Sinker says Big Q, this show is better than the final play and the 4-down-0-4 rap together. You know, I appreciate that, Seabrook. Much love to you. Thank you, Ghostface. Thank you for your super chat. Ghostface says, hey, Q, I was looking at some news Saints gear the other day and noticed that there were burn marks on all the PJ Williams jerseys. Yeah, that's the new feature. It's called pre-burnt, so you don't have to burn it yourself. It comes with a roasted smoky flavor, and they come in 3 different flavors. It's barbecue, Restart. Y'all know I did a PJ Williams. Let me show you. Let me hold on here. Let me put one up here for you. They might have one. I think I got a picture of one there for you, Ghostface, that we had. Maybe I could show it to you. One that we found ourselves by looking online, and when on the Friday show, we found one of the latest PJ Williams jerseys that come with the smoky burnt roasted PJ Williams jersey. Let me see if I can find one here. Okay. Hey, how about that? What is that? How about that? And y'all can go on the website right now. They on sale for 99 cents. That's right. Show PJ some love and get the new pre-burnt PJ Williams jersey. As you can see, the smoke is surrounding it. Hell, some of it's still on fire. PJ, how is that jersey on fire and it's the off season, bro? You're not getting burnt right now. That just goes to show you PJ get burnt all the time. All the time. Feel free, family, to get the new pre-burnt jersey by PJ Williams on the Saints site right now. 99 cents. 99 cents right now, family. The new pre-built PJ Williams jersey.